All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, just going to be a quick, lesson, pretty much, particular incident, I had at work, Friday, which, I briefly went into at camp, when I, told brothers about it, but the Lord, he's going to deal with you wicked niggas, man, because a lot of you, you say things and you do things to us and you don't take into consideration, who you're talking to, and what I mean by that is, none of us know who the elect are, but in these last days it's going to be revealed, who the Lord is and is not dealing with, but none of us know. That's why we say, we're of the hopeful elect, because, while I was at work, Friday, some nigga talking about, he would shoot me, even though that wasn't his direct words, isn't that Slakia? Even though that isn't exactly how he said it, he still threatened to shoot me, which, I wasn't worried because, Jake, most of the time, they just talk, man, because they want to put on that tough guy facade. They want to try to scare you with being loud, and it's not, man. That's just them, trying to scare you by being loud, when in reality, they're scared, But long story short, man, some nigga, was upset, was told to leave the particular, location where I was. He didn't want to leave, so, he got mad, going on a rant, this, that, and the third, which, again, it's it made me angry because it's like, you're, you're threatening the man of the Lord, and you don't even know that, because I ain't out here, in these streets, robbing, murdering, selling dope, scamming. I ain't doing none of that, man. I work my jobs, plural jobs, because I have more than one, and I go home, man. Then obviously, I go to camp, and, fellowship with brothers. Other than that, man, I live a very basic life, I'm not out here doing the things that these other niggas do, and that's the one thing, a lot of niggas have a problem with is, someone that's in a position of authority telling them what to do, because, I'm a security guard, an armed security guard to be exact. Brothers, know my profession, with just one, of the particular jobs that I do, but it's just my thing, man. Jake, y'all really just don't know the Lord is gonna mess y'all up for what you have done to his men, in times past and even in this current time we're living in, man. Because again, y'all think y'all getting away with talking shit to us, doing us wrong, or even actually harming us, man. Just understand that that's not gonna go unpunished, man. The Lord is gonna pay you back for the wickedness that you have done unto his men, So I'm just gonna, bring out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And immediately, after that situation took place, I thought about this. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 105 and verse 15. And it says, saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. And right, man, I don't know if I'm of the elect, but I hope I am, and if I am, he doesn't realize that, he threatened an elect man, in which he's going to be judged for that, because I did nothing wrong to him. He was told to leave the building and want to leave, which he left anyway, but, threatening to do harm to one of the Lord's men, yeah, the Lord is going to deal with you, so Lord willing, if that man catches a very serious judgment, just know I'll have a video prepared for that, but at the same time, man, the Lord isn't going to allow us to be harmed unless he wants it to happen, because other than that, man, he's not going to allow his men, to be put in harm's way. Obviously, during the time of Jacob's trouble, we're going to be put in some troublesome situations. But overall, the Lord is going to be with us, through whatever situations we're in, whether they're good or bad, But you niggas, man, y'all just don't understand. So let me get this as well. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 36. And it says, "But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment." So, right. So while you're, call yourself trying to scare me, thinking I'm about to cower in fear because you're threatening to shoot me and you don't have a weapon on you, just understand this. Again, like I said, I don't know if I'm of the elect. I pray I am. I hope I'm of that number, to be delivered out of here. But, again, if I am, just understand that, the angels, they saw that, they took notes of it, because Lord willing, if I am of the elect, the angels took notes and they went back unto the Lord. And then, they told him, hey, Lord, this man is down here threatening one of your men. He didn't take into consideration the things that he was saying because he was emotional, because he was upset. And that's the one thing, a lot of modern men nowadays, they're over emotional, man. They have the spirit of women upon them. Instead of using their minds, and thinking before speaking, they react off emotions just like women. He allowed his emotions to take over. And because of that, you let, idle words come out of your mouth. And understand, you thinking, oh, yeah, I punked him, I did this. No, you didn't, man. Because at the end of the day, you just made yourself look weak, because, because I'm not a carnal dude. I'm not arguing with none of these niggas. They got it. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? The Lord, I'm going to let you know, situations like this is small. It's a small situation, but, just I'm going to let the Lord handle it. Put curses on that man. And then once he catch judgment, shit, call all your Halbashim out shy. Because again, we're even though to the naked eye, we are regular men, but we're not regular men. And what I mean by that is, yes, we're regular. We have jobs, some brothers have families, we're just, we're regular, man. But to you people, we're the prophets. We're out here warning you. We're telling you of the things that are about to take place on the planet Earth, man. We're giving you that warning. So therefore, prophets, they're above, the average person, man. So we're above you people in the spirit. Especially if you're heathens, we're just, us being Israelites, we're already above you. But this isn't about you, But you wicked niggas, man, the Lord is going to deal with you, So let me get the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. And it says, "The ox knoweth his master." It's like the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. And right, an ox and an ass, they're not the smartest animals. But at least they have enough, common sense to know where their home is, who their master is, and where their home is, But concerning our people, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you don't know who your power is. You don't know who your God is. You don't even consider it. When we try to tell you this, you fan your hand, you shun it. You come up against, your God's prophets, man, against your own people that look just like you. You come up against the men of your own nation that are out here telling you the truth, which we know the majority of you aren't going to get it because it's only for the remnant, to understand and get this word in this current time, man. But this is what you do, right? Verse 4 says, sinful nation, A people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoken the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. And right, man, you are a sinful nation of people, man, because again, this is how you know you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are the biblical Israelites. I say it all the time, man. This is how you know the people that are spoken of in this book apply to us today. Because what is one of the traits of Israelites, man? They're stubborn, they're stiff-necked, they're rebellious, they're hard-headed, man. Or we as a people, but overall, primarily, the wicked of our people, man. This is you. You're evildoers, man. You just do shit, man. You don't even though everyone has a conscience, man, but we all, those of us that are sincere, we all have a conscience, man. So we all hear that voice in our head telling us if we're getting ready to do something wrong, that, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, man. I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't do this. But concerning the wicked of our people, they just ignore it and do whatever, This is why, again, you niggas act the way you act, man. This is why these other nations, especially Esau, stereotypes us, which some of the stereotypes are bullshit, but then again, some of them are true. Because you look how you niggas conduct yourselves. Look how you act, man. They call us monkeys when they look, closer to chimpanzees than us. But yet you niggas act like monkeys, man, like wild animals. But this is why the Lord is going to destroy you. Verse 5, it says, why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed up, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. So right, this is what the Lord is saying, man. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Because the longer we're here in America, the worse and worse you niggas are gonna get, man. Because literally every year, not even just every year, every day, you niggas get worse, man. Every day we understand, why you niggas have to be taken out. Because personally, I don't have any compassion for the wicked of our people. Because I understand why the Lord has to destroy you. Because you can't be rehabilitated, man. You're just going to continue to indulge in wickedness, man. You refuse to turn back to the Lord, right? Which is why he said this. It's the book of Slakia, that's Lamentations, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, and verse 22. And it says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And right, it says, the Lord's people are sottish, meaning they're stupid, man. Because you niggas are stupid. Look at the things you say. Look at the things you do. Just how you carry yourselves as a people, man. Like you're fucking stupid, man. And just like this individual, that threatened to do harm to me. Which, again, I wasn't fazed because I can tell this dude was scared of me. Because I didn't threaten him. I didn't come off in a threatening manner whatsoever. Because, brothers know, I'm a soft-spoken man. I'm not with all that rah-rah shit. I'm a cool dude. I'm soft-spoken by nature. But he was scared doing all this yelling. He didn't want to, admit it. Obviously, he's not going to admit it, but I could just see it in his countenance. This dude was scared of me. Because you clearly see I'm not gonna yell back at. I'm not gonna do that, man. That's what women do. They want to get the last word. You get loud with them, they're gonna get loud with you. Like, man, I'm not doing that, man. But what? Again, you're gonna be dealt with. But just like it says, man, our people are wise to do evil. So you niggas have all the knowledge in the world to do all types of wickedness. How to scam, how to steal money from other people. how to steal cars, how to commit adultery, you know, how to do all of these wicked things, but yet when it comes to do something good, like, preaching and teaching to your own people, you know, and just overall being a decent person, not committing crimes, you have no knowledge. That's why the Lord is going to get rid of you niggas, man. So let me get this as well. The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. And it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also will reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I also will forget thy children. And right, man, just our people, they lack knowledge. And just like it says, they have rejected knowledge. You literally have men among you of your own nation that have the understanding of the scriptures, that understand and know why we're in the condition that we're in as a whole, But what? You don't consider it. You rejected this, man. We ain't Israelites, man. We just some niggas. No, we're not niggas, man. We're the Lord's people. But what? As the Lord's people, what? We're in a lower state. It's like it says, man, you're destroyed for a lack of knowledge. This is why a lot of you, you don't, man. This is how can I put this? This is why a lot of our people suffer the way they suffer, man. Dying, dishonorable deaths, being shot to death, raped, kidnapped. The Lord allows these different things to happen to the wicked of our people. Why? Because they have rejected knowledge, man. You don't want to hear, the words of the book that pertains unto you that can save your life. You'll rather, get into these other, false religions and doctrines instead of taking heed to the people of your own nation that have the understanding, that actually have the true knowledge. But what? You rejected it. Which is why it also says this. Let's get Romans chapter 11 and verse 7. And it says, what then? Israel hath obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. And right, we can clearly see that, man, that only a remnant of the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the tribe of Judah, all the way down to the tribe of Issachar, the remnant of this nation of people, has obtained this knowledge, this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding of the scriptures, while what? The rest of our people are blinded, which is why they just walk aimlessly through this life until they're destroyed, man. Because again, a lot of you were born in vain. And that nigga that was talking that shit to me, you were born in vain. So let me get that. Excuse me. In 2nd Esdras, chapter 9. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to grab this as well. Book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. And they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. And right, man, you have the men of the Lord out here, every, week in and week out, whatever day that brothers go out, most guys, most brothers, I'll say, not guys, but, most brothers go out, usually Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or, some other, brothers may go out during the week. But you have the men of the Lord out here, on the streets, preaching and teaching. You also have, the videos being uploaded daily. So there's really no excuse for our people to not know. But what, man? They just like it says, they cast it away. They don't take heed, man. They don't consider, what's being said. Verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. And right, man, while the word is still readily available to you, you don't take heed to it. You don't take into consideration that, this particular group of men have the truth, and we're trying to wake you up. Well, not trying, because again, we know that, again, it's only for the remnant. But we're still giving you that warning so we can get your blood off of our hands, so that when you get destroyed, you can't say you didn't know, right? But what, you're going to know it after death by pain. You're going to understand the group of men that you came up against, had the answer the entire time. You're going to know it after death by pain, man. So I'm going to jump down to verse 22. It's 2 Esdras chapter 9 and verse 22. It says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. And right, man, the wicked of our people were born in vain. A lot of you niggas on this earth were literally born here in this particular time just to die. Some of you may even be destroyed directly by the Lord himself, man. Like, do you know how angry you had to make the Lord in order for he himself to destroy you? You really had to piss him off, And that's going to be the case for some of you, man, because the very same generation of people that are on the earth today is that very same generation that was back during the time of our Lord when he was on the earth, saying, away with him, crucify him, right? You're that very same generation that said, let, his blood, talking about our Lord Yahushua, let his blood be upon us and our children. That's you niggas, man. That's why you niggas be dying these horrendous deaths, man. You delivered your Messiah up to be killed, man. And you're going to be paid back for that. You were born in vain, man. So I was going to get a couple more, man, before I head in this job, man. Because you niggas, y'all just don't understand, man. Y'all just don't understand. The Lord is finna get y'all, man, for what you have done. First and foremost to him. But he's going to avenge his men as well, man. He's going to avenge us of you wicked niggas and of these different heathen nations that have been oppressing us, man. So this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. And it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So right, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, 66.6% of you wicked niggas here in America are going to be destroyed, man. And this is what we're looking forward to seeing you niggas get your just due. You refuse to repent. You don't want to stop doing wickedness. You don't want to, turn back to the Lord. So, hey, man, it's out of our hands now. We're going to let the Lord deal with you, right? Because, again, once you niggas start getting destroyed, we're not going to shed a tear for you, man. And this is going to be the case for a lot of you wicked niggas out there. So I'm going to end it with this. The book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And this is given a vivid description of a person being melted, man. Their eyes burning inside of their eye sockets, their tongue dissolving, inside of their mouth. But again, your entire body is going to be burned up once these missiles hit, man. During the time of World War III, aka the Day of the Lord, man. Because a lot of you are going to be preserved up until that time, And you just don't understand that's going to be the case for a lot of you, So actually, I'm going to end it with this, man. And I'm going to put this on wax, because that nigga, he got me fucked up, threatening me. Because you just don't know, man. Lord willing, I'm one of the men of the Lord. Lord willing, I'm one of the elect, man. Lord willing. Because I'm telling you, right here, I spelled it wrong. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 22. And it says, and if any man love not the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, let him be anathema maranatha, cursed unto the Lord come, set aside for judgment. So may the Lord set that wicked nigga aside for judgment for threatening to do harm to me. May he be preserved for judgment during the time of judgment day, because again, you didn't take in consideration of what you were saying. Every idle word that you said, you're going to have to give account for that. Because just understand this, when the Lord comes back, he's not doing any talking, man. It ain't going to be nothing to say in that day. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. No, man. It's ass whooping time. Because that's what the majority of you wicked niggas out there need, a serious ass whooping, So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Till the next time I say, Shalom.